Before you all watch this video, I just wanted to add a little disclaimer here at the beginning, just to make sure that it's understood that every adoptee experiences adoption in their own and individual way. The videos that I'm going to be posting are, of course, going to be my story and through my perspective and my eyes. But I just want anyone who watches this to understand not to take my experiences and the way that I respond and deal with being adopted and with searching for my birth family, not to generalize that to all adoptees. Because again, every adoptee is an individual with their own personality and own way of looking at things and dealing with things. And because it is such an individual experience, we all have to be very sensitive and compassionate toward each adoptee's perspective and experience regarding their own life and their own adoption. So as you watch this, please enjoy, please share in this journey with me, but also let us make sure that we respect and honor the other adoptees out there who have their own stories to tell and their own stories to live. All right, thanks. Hi, my name is Melissa, and I am a Korean adoptee. I recently discovered, after a 6-year search, that both my birth mother and my birth father are alive, living in Korea. I'm hoping to chronicle my journey as I try to make my way to reunite with them in Korea, or perhaps we could say my journey in meeting them for the first time. Really though, my journey began more than 6 years ago. It began 33 years ago when I was born in Korea in 1975 and subsequently relinquished by my birth mother for adoption. These photos were originally taken when I was first received by the adoption agency, at the time called David Livingston Adoption Program. This photo here was taken by my foster parents at their home in Korea. By the age of 6 months old, I was already with my new family, who at the time were living in Yokosuka, Japan. My adoptive father was a Navy man, and he and his wife and their 2 sons, Sean and Greg, who were to become my new family, were living in Japan. This photo was taken soon after my arrival in Japan with my 2 older brothers. Soon after my arrival, my mom became pregnant and gave birth to our youngest brother, Jeff. As a child, I was pretty happy, pretty well adjusted. I had my moments of temper tantrums and not getting along with my brothers, but overall, we had fun together. And during childhood, I never really thought about my birth parents, and much less ever thought about searching for them anytime in the future. So life progressed, and I had a fairly normal childhood, and even in some ways, quite spectacular. My dad was a Navy man, so we got to travel and see the world. However, as I got older, it began to become apparent that a restlessness seemed to grow beneath my happy exterior. It began to surface in ways that neither I nor my family understood. And we never even thought to relate it to being adopted. But that once happy little girl began to feel very troubled about life. High school was a very tumultuous time for me, and although I had my good times, I was still very deeply troubled, and yet still I had no idea as to why I felt this deep restlessness inside of me. I experienced my early college years with a similar difficulty, but as time went on, I managed to forge vital, lifetime friendships. It wasn't until my early to mid-20s that I finally began to see and acknowledge the impact on my life of being an adoptee. With the support of friends and family, I began to delve more deeply into my experience as an adoptee. I realized I had so many questions and emotions and thoughts that I had buried for years and years. This eventually compelled me to initiate a search for my biological mother and father.